Genetic algorithms and the traditional search methods. In this topic, we will highlight some of the major differences which are there in between the genetic algorithms and the traditional search methods. So we will differentiate among these two with respect to some properties of them. A standard genetic algorithm usually deals with a set of possible solutions for a problem, while traditional methods are not dealing with a set of possible solutions for a problem. So that's why in genetic algorithm we used the terminologies of a population or the terminologies of individual, because the set of individuals which are dealt by a genetic algorithm is called a population. So that genetic algorithm is dealing with a set of possible set of individuals, basically dealing with a set of individuals, dealing with a population of individuals, basically, which is a specific characteristics of the genetic algorithm. Each individual is basically a point in the search space. So we can think about the genetic algorithm that it is basically a multi-dimensional, multi-point optimization technique for multi-dimensional spaces, while the traditional methods are unable to deal with this multi-point optimization, because they can just deal at their maximum with just only a few points, while genetic algorithm usually uses the size of the population, usually have the population size usually ranges from 20 to 200 or sometimes up to 300, or sometimes the size may be more than 300, while the traditional search method can go up for a size up to 1 or 2 or 3, not more than these. So this is a very big difference in between a traditional and genetic algorithms to go for the number of the size of the population. A multi-point, a multi-dimensional search technique being applied by the genetic algorithm, while this potential is being absent in the traditional search methods. So traditional methods usually requires a starting point to operate, while genetic algorithms do not require that specific type of search point. They just require a starting population, and we have to initialize a population to start with the genetic algorithm. If a standard genetic algorithm is used to optimize a function of continuous variables, it doesn't work with the problem variables itself. So what does it do? It basically map the variable internally into a string of binary variables. So it transform the whole logic, basically, and as much long as the binary string is, the search space will be that much complex. So such a mapping transforms the entire range of the continuous variables into a limited set of binary coded numbers, and we have discussed it that these binary sets of variables or data are represented through a string which is called a chromosome, and in each slot of that chromosome is representing a specific gene or specific type of data, basically. So the bigger the binary string, the larger the search space is. So how much big the binary string is, that will reflect the complexity or the largeness of the search space, basically. In genetic algorithms, the previously found good information or the previously found good result is of prime importance, and genetic algorithms usually emphasize on that previous good information, and it tries to optimize it further by applying some genetic operators like crossing over or the mutation operators being applied, and it's trying to improve the previous good results into the best result and the desired target result, and in this way it's iteratively improving the previous good result into a much better result in other iteration and in the next iteration, by applying different types of genetic operators and by selecting the best and the most fitted individuals from the previous generation, and ultimately it reaches to the global optimum and give us the most efficient solution, the most better solution possible in that specific scenario. Genetic algorithm does not require any auxiliary information except the objective function values, while these auxiliary informations are required by the majority of the traditional methods. So again, another advantage of the genetic algorithm is that it doesn't require any auxiliary type of information. Genetic algorithm uses the probabilities in their operators. Different types of operators are used in the genetic algorithms. So it uses the probabilities of these different types of operators. One has to define the probability of different types of operators which are used in the genetic algorithm. But this is not the case in the traditional search algorithms. Now, this nature of narrowing the search space as the search progresses is adaptive in nature, and this is a unique characteristics of the genetic algorithm. It is narrowing the search space as the search progresses. So it's narrowing the search space, and ultimately it reaches to the optimum target solution. While the traditional search optimization techniques, they are not working in this fashion. They are not narrowing the search space. They are not narrowing. They are not trying to approach the optimum solution by narrowing down the search space. So we can say that, or we can conclude that genetic algorithm has an upper hand over the traditional search and optimization techniques by solving specifically the complex problems by applying different types of its unique characteristics.